Hey, welcome to our holiday gifting series. We're excited about this video because today we're talking about our annual December sale. Do you know someone who's a whiskey or wine lover or just maybe wants to try to get into it? Well, don't miss out on this sale, okay? Because if you buy 6 or more bottles of Irish or Scotch whiskey, port, or sherry mix and matched, you get 15% off your purchase. This is the Geico of liquor sales, and you don't want to miss this. Check those Yankee Swap, holiday, and Secret Santa gifts off your list immediately. All right, before we get into some product recommendations, let's do a little lesson here. All right, we have whiskey versus whiskey, the EY versus the Y. Both spellings are correct, and simply just refer to the place of origin. The tricky part is knowing which one is which. All right, if it's made in Scotland, Canada, or Japan, the spelling whiskey with the Y is used. Irish and American products are called whiskey with the EY. The plural form of whiskey with the EY is whiskeys with an S. And the plural form of whiskey with the Y is whiskeys, IES, or just whiskey. Whew. Okay, let's get into some recommendations. That's why you're here. Irish whiskey has a smoother and cleaner profile without the distinctive peat and smoke of Scotch. You know, think Irish whiskey, you're thinking smooth. It's made from a malt mash and can only use water and caramel coloring in it. It must be distilled in casks for a minimum of 3 years. If you're not a fan of peat and smoke flavors in your whiskey, try the Irish, all right? Our spirits marketing team recommends these 3. We have Redbreast 12-year-old Irish whiskey, Proper number 12 triple distilled Irish whiskey, Writer's Tears Copper Pot Irish whiskey, Tullamore Dew Irish whiskey. All right, the Scots have rigorous laws to govern their production of their whiskey. I mean, this is like pizza in Naples. If you don't do it, you're basically a deep dish. Follow the rules here. So there are aging requirements for at least 3 years in a barrel with an age statement on the label as to the youngest whiskey in the bottle, if it's a blend. Okay, it's made from either malt or grain mashes, and they are known for their peatiness or smoky flavors. So again, Irish, smooth. Scotch, smoky. Single malt Scotch is the highest standard of production. It needs to be made from a single batch and only at one distillery. The main ingredient is malted barley. We recommend these 3. We have Johnnie Walker Black Label Scotch Whiskey, the Glenlivet 12-year-old single malt Scotch Whiskey, and this one right here, the Balvenie 12-year-old double wood Scotch Whiskey. Okay, port is a sweet wine from Portugal, poured in smaller wine glasses. These are those after-dinner drinks, the limoncellos, that you really look forward to after a nice dinner. Port is known as a dessert wine because of the richness and flavor. It contains a variety of different flavors like raspberry, blackberry, caramel, cinnamon, and chocolate. Sounds good, right? It's like a Michael Bublé album. Delicious. Okay, there are different kinds of port wine. There are white, rosé, tawny, and ruby port wines. The common flavors of white port are apricot, sweet baked apple, citrus peel, and roasted nuts. The common flavors of rosé port wine are strawberry, raspberry, cranberry sauce, and caramel. And some common flavors you'll find in a tawny port are cranberry, raspberry, hazelnut, cinnamon, clove, and fig. I mean, what says holidays like that? Blackberry, raspberry, cinnamon, chocolate are what you'll find in a ruby port wine. Okay, our wine marketing team recommends these 3. We have the Taylor Fladgate 10-year-old Tawny Porto. This one here, the Sanderman Founders Reserve Ruby Porto. We have Graham's Port 6 Grapes Reserve Porto. All right, sherry wine was born in Spain and made primarily from the Palomino grape. It was then fortified with grape brandy. Sherry wine goes back a few thousand years, but really gained European footing in the 13th century. Now, there are various types of sherry wine. There is Fino, Manzanilla, this here is an Amontillado, Palo Cortado, and Oloroso. Fino has the most straightforward tasting note with its bready flavor, so that's a good place to start. Manzanilla shares many tasting notes of Fino sherry, but Manzanilla sherry is only made in Sanlúcar de Barrameda. Amontillado is a beautiful tawny specimen, often tasting woodsy and candied fruit and nut tasting notes. Palo Cortado is the best of both worlds, so if you don't know where to start, start there and then you can figure out what you like. Oloroso is the most dense and sophisticated sherry, so maybe save that one for later. Our wine marketing team recommends these three. Harvey's Bristol Cream Sherry, Williams & Humbert Dry Sack Sherry, and the Hartley & Gibson's Amontillado Sherry. All right, don't miss out on this sale. It runs through January 2nd. If you buy 6 or more bottles of Irish or Scotch whiskey, port, or sherry wine, you get 15% off your purchase. They're basically giving it away. All right, so get in here, check off those gifts you need for your holiday, Yankee Swap, or Secret Santa gifts, and come and mix and match.